They said working for a movie star would be glamorous. They didn't mention the part where you're invisible, carrying his coffee while paparazzi scream his name like he's a god and you're just the shadow holding his jacket. The first time I saw Adrian Cole smile, really smile, not the one plastered on billboards, I thought my heart would cave in. It happened in the middle of a crowded set in Los Angeles. His laugh rolling low and easy after some director's joke I didn't catch. Everyone else just heard charm. I heard salvation. But I also knew something else. Men like him don't fall for nobodies like me. I was the assistant, the one who made sure his scripts weren't left in the trailer, who ran lines with him at 2 in the morning when he couldn't sleep, who picked up his dry cleaning and scheduled his interviews. My name was Daniel, but in the world of Hollywood, I was just the kid who worked for Adrian. And yet, in those quiet hours after the cameras stopped rolling, there were moments, tiny, flickering moments, when it felt like the world shrank until it was just us. Like the night he stumbled back into his dressing room after a grueling shoot, exhaustion lining his perfect face, and muttered, "You're the only reason I survived this circus. You know that?" He said it half into a pillow, half into the silence, but I caught it. My chest caught fire. I wanted to believe it meant more, but I tucked the words away, buried them with the rest of my foolish hopes. Adrian Cole wasn't just an actor. He was America's obsession. Every magazine cover, every late-night host wanted a piece of him. To them, he was untouchable. To me, he was a man who forgot to eat when he was stressed, who hated the smell of lilies because they reminded him of his mother's funeral, who sometimes looked out at the ocean like he was begging it to swallow him whole. And I was in love with him. Quietly, painfully, desperately. It would have been fine just another tragic, unspoken crush if he hadn't started looking back. It began innocently, a lingering glance when I handed him a script, his fingers brushing mine when I passed him his coffee. But then there were the nights in his penthouse, when I'd be gathering my things to leave and he'd say, "Stay, just stay a little longer." And I always did. One night, we sat on his balcony overlooking the city, lights sprawling like a broken galaxy beneath us. He was silent for so long I thought he'd forgotten I was there. Then he said, almost bitterly, "Do you ever feel like everyone wants you, but no one actually sees you?" I froze, because wasn't that my exact existence? I wanted to tell him I saw him, every fragile, human piece of him, but my throat locked up. Instead, I just nodded. That's when his hand found mine. Not bold, not public, not like the roles he played. Just quiet, trembling, searching. I should have pulled away. He was my boss. He was the star. I was nothing. But I didn't. God help me, I didn't. The next morning, he was different. Back to polished smiles and professional distance, as though the balcony had never happened. He didn't even look at me when the makeup artist joked about his assistant shadow. And yet, later, when he passed me his phone with his calendar open, our fingers lingered again, electric. It was torture. Sweet, aching torture. Because Hollywood doesn't forgive. Not love like ours. If anyone knew, it would ruin him. The headlines would eat him alive. America's golden boy caught with male assistant. The machine that built him would tear him down in seconds. And I couldn't let that happen. So I told myself to stop. To bury it all. To protect him by staying silent. But hearts don't follow rules. And Adrian Cole wasn't a man who played fair. The breaking point came during the New York premiere of his latest film. I was backstage, headset on, clipboard clutched like armor. He was radiant in a tailored suit, flashes from cameras exploding outside. The world was watching him, and then, in one stolen second, his eyes found mine across the chaos. He didn't look away. I swear time slowed. His smile faltered, softened, became something real, something that belonged only to me. My chest constricted. I had to look down before anyone noticed, but the damage was done. That night, in the privacy of his hotel suite, he cornered me. Not angrily, not with arrogance, but with a rawness I'd never seen before. "Daniel," he said, voice rough, "why do you keep running from me?" I laughed, broken and small. "Because if I don't, you'll lose everything." His jaw tightened. "You think I care about everything if it means losing you?" Couldn't breathe. Couldn't think. All I knew was the heat of his body when he stepped closer, the sincerity burning in his eyes. For the first time, Adrian Cole wasn't the star. He wasn't the role. He wasn't the image. He was just a man, begging me to believe him. And maybe, for once, I let myself. Adrian kissed me that night, not with the staged perfection of a movie star, but with urgency, with trembling desperation, like he'd been holding his breath for years and finally let it out. And then the knock came at the door. Publicists, managers, security. His world crashed back in. He pulled away, face already hardening, slipping the mask back on like armor. "Later," he whispered, pushing me gently toward the bedroom before the suite filled with people. I hid in silence, listening to the chaos of voices, the laughter, the relentless business of being Adrian Cole. And in that moment, I knew this love wasn't going to be easy. The weeks that followed were brutal. He was colder in public than ever, careful not to let a single glance linger too long. He dated a model for a week, posed with her on red carpets. My stomach burned every time I saw the photos. I told myself it was protection, but protection cut deep. We fought too. Behind closed doors, words flew sharp and ugly. I accused him of being a coward. He accused me of not believing in him. We broke apart, slammed doors, went days without speaking. Yet every time we came back together, pulled by some gravity we couldn't fight. It all exploded one night in Malibu, at a beach house party where cameras were banned but secrets were currency. I found him on the balcony again, staring at the ocean, drink untouched. His eyes lit up when he saw me, but I was furious. "You can't keep doing this," I snapped. "I'm not your safety net. I can't be the secret you run to when the lights go off." His hands shook as he set down the glass. "And you think I want to? You think I don't wake up every day wishing I could hold your hand in public, shout your name instead of pretending I don't see you standing 5 feet away?" His voice cracked. "I'm drowning, Daniel, and you're the only thing keeping me afloat." The fight drained out of me. Maybe it was the truth in his eyes, or the way the moonlight carved his face into something both vulnerable and defiant. I stepped closer, until our foreheads touched. "Then stop hiding," I whispered. It was the riskiest thing we'd ever done, but Adrian Cole wasn't built to live small. A week later, at a press junket in Los Angeles, he broke every rule. Cameras flashed, reporters shouted, and Adrian reached for my hand public, unapologetic, unstoppable. Gasps rippled. Headlines were born in an instant. His publicist nearly fainted. But Adrian just squeezed my fingers, gaze steady. "This is Daniel," he told the world, his voice calm. "Sure. And I'm done pretending." The fallout was nuclear. Some fans turned on him, calling him a liar. Sponsors pulled contracts. Tabloids feasted for weeks. But something else happened too. Voices rose in support. Young people wrote letters saying they finally felt seen. Colleagues quietly clapped him on the back. His fans, the ones who loved him for more than his jawline, stood by him. Through it all, I stayed. I held his hand when the headlines screamed betrayal. I held his hand when his father refused to call. I held his hand when he finally stepped back onto a set, raw but unbroken. The cameras capturing not just a star, but a man unafraid of himself. Months later, we sat on his balcony again, the same balcony where it began. The city stretched beneath us, glowing like 1,000 fragile promises. Adrian leaned back in his chair, wine glass dangling from his fingers, and looked at me with that smile, the real one, the one the world still didn't fully know. "You realize," he murmured, "I traded half my empire just to have this moment with you." I laughed softly, curling closer to him. "You didn't trade anything. You finally found yourself." His arm wrapped around my shoulders, pulling me against his chest. "No," he said, pressing his lips into my hair. "I finally found us." And in that quiet, I realized Hollywood lights could burn, could blind, could destroy. But love, the kind we'd fought for, bled for, didn't care about spotlights. Love made its own light. I turned my face up to his, kissed him under the endless sprawl of stars, and for the first time in forever, neither of us hid. We had survived the machine. And in the wreckage, we built something real. Something worth every risk. Something that was ours. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated with the latest videos.